There's an old saying, size doesn't matter. And I think that's absolutely spot on. Let me prove it to you. Scotch fingers, the mini version, completely fine. Oreos, minis, completely fine. Tastes just like the real thing. Ritz or Jats, mini cheese, a mini can of Coke, mini chocolate cupcakes. Are you telling me you'd knock back a mini chocolate cupcake just because it's small? And the best of all, the mini party pie. In fact, there's no better pie than the party pie. And I think the same applies to the iPhone 12 mini. Same features, same power, just a couple of compromises. This is the iPhone 12 mini. Now the iPhone 12 mini is the smallest iPhone in a very long time, but not the smallest overall. The iPhone 5, for example, smaller than the iPhone 12 mini. But in comparison to, say, the iPhone SE, released only earlier this year, smaller in size, bigger screen. Compared to the iPhone 12 itself, the standard iPhone 12 or the 12 Pro, a much smaller device. And I think that's the appeal of the iPhone mini. Just like it is for this car. This mini, albeit the electric version, is compact, easy to park, easy to get around, easy to refill, even easier when it's electric. Those things appeal to a lot of people just purely based on size, and I think that's where the iPhone 12 mini comes into its own. So the thing about something small like this in your pocket is you kind of forget that it's there, but it's still got all the power that you need for things like photography. So here, you've got the exact same camera array as the larger iPhone 12, the 6.1 inch iPhone 12 versus this 5.4 inch iPhone 12 mini, the ultra wide and the standard lens. So taking photos here, just as good as on all the other iPhones. The only thing you're missing, that compromise we talk about, is a 2x telephoto zoom on the iPhone 12 Pro or a 2.5 on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. If that zoom is important to you and that's critical for the best portrait photography, then the Pros are the way to go. But what this thing can do with portraits in both selfie mode and standard rear camera mode is amazing and perfect for 99% of users. One of the things Apple likes to talk about, as do all smartphone manufacturers, is low light performance. I took the iPhone 12 mini and the Pro Max to the Hunter Valley for some Christmas lights, and I've got to be honest, I think the videos on this are just as good as anyone would expect and probably better, and it's incrementally better in the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But for most people, as I keep saying, this is going to outperform every other smartphone that you've currently got. So I asked specifically for the product red iPhone 12 mini to review because I fell in love with the product red when I first got a product red iPhone SE earlier in the year. Now down the side, this beautiful stainless steel here is product red. It's beautiful, but on the back, it's kind of like a peach or a salmon. And I know that because compared to the iPhone SE, it's a stark difference in the color. But if that's your only complaint, just don't get the product red. So I talked about the compromise of the camera, and there's no doubt that is the first compromise with the iPhone 12 mini, as it is with the iPhone 12 standard, because the Pro and the Pro Max are the only ones with that telephoto zoom, 2 and 2.5 times respectively. But the real compromise here, or the real benefit, whichever way you see it, is size. This is a much smaller phone, but it's still a 5.4 inch screen, bigger than most people would have had in smaller iPhone 7s, 6s, 8s. So you're getting something bigger with the iPhone 12 mini, but for people who are used to the iPhone 10 or a 10R or 11, this is a much smaller screen. So if viewing content, videos, Netflix, Stan is a big thing for you, you're probably going to tend towards the higher sized phones. But for me, size in the hand, simplicity and weight in the pocket are much more important than viewing size for videos, and that's why I personally would choose the iPhone 12 mini. One of the reasons you choose the electric mini is performance. 0 to 100, speed feels great in an electric car. The performance around town feels really good in a zippy electric car. The entire iPhone 12 range, including the iPhone 12 mini, is 5G enabled, and having tested that extensively with our 12 and 12 Pro video, you'll know that they can outperform. They can get speeds of 1,000 megabits per second, but on average you're looking at 300 or 400. I've been using Telstra 5G on this phone for several weeks now, and it is wider spread than I ever thought it would be. So now is the time to think about 5G, but I still think it's not the reason to buy an iPhone 12. So as of this week, there are 4 iPhone 12s. The iPhone 12 mini, 12, 12 Pro, 12 Pro Max, $11.99, $13.49, $16.99 and $18.49 starting prices, and you pay more if you put more storage on board. There's something for everyone in that budget, and don't forget there's a bunch of other iPhones still on sale even below those prices, including the SE at $649. But this is genuinely the sweet spot. It's the right size phone for a lot of people coming from the iPhone 6 or 7 or 8. If you haven't been a Plus phone user, this is the right size, but you're getting the benefit of that bigger screen. The reason to choose the iPhone 12 Pro Max is high-end videography, high-end photography features, which no doubt many people will love. But for most people, sharing on Facebook, sharing on Instagram, these cameras are amazing, this phone is powerful, and it's really everything you need. Just like the Mini itself, it's a great car, it does everything you need it to do, and it probably performs better than most cars of its size. It's exactly like the iPhone. Outperforms anything else of this size, but bang for your buck, it's probably the sweet spot in the iPhone range. And if you're wondering how the iPhone 12 Pro Max performs, we shot this whole video on the iPhone 12 Pro Max.